Welcome to my live stream, the number one place where you can learn how to turn your Etsy side hobby into your full-time income. My name is Brendan Dopp, and today we'll be talking about how you can earn your first $1,000 on Etsy. For those of you that are here now, go ahead and ask your questions in the chat. Also, let me know where you are tuning in from. If you are watching this on the replay, I will be adding chapters down below so that you can easily navigate through the stream and watch the parts that interest you most. But thanks so much, everyone, for being here today. We will go ahead and jump straight into it. I have a lot of information I want to share. If you have questions about any of the information that I share today, go ahead and ask questions, and I will hopefully get to those questions at the end of this stream today. So how do you earn your first $1,000 on Etsy? It may seem like a huge feat, but it is possible if you implement the correct strategies and you follow the methods that I share here on my channel. I will be sharing a lot of good information today, and a lot of this I go more into depth on specific videos here on my channel, so you can go and check those out after you watch the stream today. So the first thing to do in order to be able to reach that benchmark of earning your first $1,000 is to go ahead and just start. If you are in the stage right now where you are still trying to decide to open your shop, making sure you do all of the trend research and figuring out exactly what it is that you're going to sell, I can't stress how important it is to just start and to start taking action today, because you will learn as you go. And it doesn't matter how much preparation and research you do beforehand, you are going to go through this learning curve where you make mistakes and you learn from those mistakes. So just start today, open your shop, and begin the creation process and the learning process. And as you do so, that will be your first initial step to earning your first $1,000. Okay, the next thing is the importance of building out your entire shop. If you didn't watch my most recent video that I created, I highlighted and uncovered the strategies and methods that the top 5 sellers are currently doing on Etsy. These are the things that you need to do in your own shop. So if you haven't watched that video, go back and watch it. There's a lot of information in there that you can learn from and a lot of things you can implement into your own store. So the thing is I want to dive deep into how you build out your entire shop and what it means to build out your entire shop. The first thing you need to do is make sure you have a eye-catching banner. So the banner is at the top of your Etsy page or your Etsy shop. That's the first thing any customer will see when they click into your shop. With your banner, you can include things like a sale that you're running. So if you're doing a 25% off sale, you can include that in your banner. If you offer free shipping, any important information that would be incentivizing to your customers, you should include that in your banner. With it too, you can highlight like your top, you can highlight products that you really like. Or if you've been on Etsy for a while, if you have products that have sold, you can highlight those products in your banner to showcase your top selling items. Just make sure you make great use of your banner, because that is really your most valuable piece of real estate in your shop. Okay, so the next thing for building out your entire shop is making sure that you have your title. So under your shop name, it has your title. In this title, you can include things that you focus on or things that you sell or whatever niche it is that you're doing in your shop. You can include that in your title. So if you're doing bachelorette party shirts, you can include that in your title. So the first thing a customer sees is exactly what it is that you are selling. Next is your announcement section. In your announcements, you can update this on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, or you can just add information to it from the beginning and not touch it later. But your announcement section is another place that your customer will see when they first click through your shop. In here, you can include your shipping and or your production and shipping times. You can include if you offer free shipping or not. You can share maybe like a coupon code. So if they buy 3, they get X amount off, or whatever it is that would be enticing to your customer. You can also include that there. All right, we will continue on. So moving down from your announcement section, we are going down to the about section. So if you scroll all the way down to the bottom of your page, below your listings and reviews is your about section. Here is where, oh, sorry, went out of focus there. Okay, sorry about that. So in your about section is where you will share your story so that you can connect with your buyers. So we've had so many experiences in our own shop where they liked our story that we shared and they liked our about section. And that was one of the main reasons why they bought from our store. They shared why they liked it and they said, we wanted to support you because of this reason. So don't be afraid to share your reason for starting, why you started your Etsy shop, and make it so that it will allow you to connect with your customer. Because so many people like to support dreams, so many people like to support stories. So take advantage of your about section and really highlight the interesting parts of your business and who you are. And make it personal, make it in a way so that you can easily connect with your customers. There too, you can also include pictures. So if you want to do behind the scenes of your designing process or how the printing process looks with your print on demand partner that you're using, you can include that there. But just utilize all these places where you can build out your shop. Because if you think about it, when you go into a store, let's say a Walmart or to a Target, if you walked in and all of the shelves were empty and there was nothing on there, you might be a little hesitant to purchase from that store. Obviously, you know the name already, but if you take a name that's not well known like Target or Walmart and you walk in, there's not much there. It's the same principle when it comes to online shopping. And I honestly think it's even more important when it comes to online shopping because their only like tangible thing they have in your shop is reading about your shop, your story, the mock-up photos that you're using, etc. So you have to take advantage of all of these things. All righty. So next, below your about section, you need to build out your shop members and include their roles. If it's just you can tell your role. You can make it funny. You can make it serious. Just explain what do you do in the creation process with creating your product for your customer. And it's just another way to, okay, they can see this is a real human who has a real life who I can relate with. And it just builds trust between you and your customer, especially when you're first starting out and you have very few sales. Okay, after shop members is our shop policies. So in your shop policies, make sure you include if you offer exchanges, if you accept returns, if you allow cancellations, and how long do they have until they can cancel their order. These are all things that people are concerned about when they're shopping online. And if you have this built out, if you have your shop policies built out, it will allow your customer to really have no questions or concerns when ordering from your store. And if they see that what the situation is with your shop, if you offer returns. Sorry, my camera keeps going out of focus. All right, 1 second. Okay. All right, we're gonna keep going. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out my camera why it's going out of focus here. But so next after your shop policies, making sure you have that all built out is making sure. Sorry, guys, I'm having issues here. 1 second. Let me fix this camera. All right. I should be in focus now. Sorry, guys. Okay. So next is your frequently asked questions. If you for your come on, camera. Okay, for your frequently asked questions, here you can include all of the questions that a customer may have. I know what you're thinking now is that you have had no customers reach out to you with questions. If you go and look at shops that are successful and have had a lot of sales, I can guarantee you a lot of those questions are going to be very similar to the questions that you will have in your own shop. If especially specifically for whatever you're selling. So if you're doing clothing, go and look at other clothing shops because a lot of those questions are going to be the same. Some questions you can include in your FAQs are care instructions. So how do you take care of your product? How do you wash it, etc. Sizing recommendations. A lot of people have concerns about sizing, if they should size up or if they should size down, what type of sizing you offer, returns, if you allow returns, exchanges, etc. These are all simple questions that you can include in your FAQs. And again, this just builds trust, and it also will prevent any unknown questions that may make your customer not want to purchase from you because they don't really know and they don't want to wait for you to get back to them if they send you a message. All right. Continuing on here. So if you guys are tuning in right now, you can go ahead and ask your questions. I'll get back. I'll ask your question, answer your questions at the end of the stream. Right now, we're just talking about the ways and the strategies to start earning your first $1,000. Okay, so we talked about building out your shop and the things that are important for building out your shop. And it really is so important to make sure you have a professional looking shop to build trust between you and your customer. So I highly recommend doing all these things I'm talking about now. And if you haven't watched my most recent video about the top 5 sellers and what they do, these are all things that they had included in their own shop. So it success leaves clues. It's evident that these are important. And also, all 4 of the top 5 sellers that I showed you were star sellers. So that was another important thing to these top sellers. That's something to keep in mind for your own store. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to talk about is the importance of creating high quality listings. This is by far, one second, I got to fix my camera. Hang tight. Sorry, guys. I'm going to fix this so that I'm in focus. Uh, all right. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with my camera. I apologize if I go out of focus. I'm just going to run with it and the content that is important, not necessarily me being in focus or not. So, okay, moving on. So, creating high quality listings. I can't stress how important it is to create high quality listings, and not only high quality listings, but a large quantity of high quality listings. So, um, I want to make an invitation to you. Man, this camera is driving me nuts. Okay, I want to make an invitation to you. So, if you, I want you to set a goal after the stream to create 100 high quality listings, and on all of these 100 listings to get 1% better. If you can set a benchmark to start creating 100 listings, that is really a good base and a good foundation to start being found in search results. So you can't just create 5 listings and expect to be found and start making daily sales. Etsy is a numbers game, and it's so important that you create a large quantity of high quality listings. So that's my invitation to you, is to create 100 listings, and don't be concerned or depressed or discouraged if you aren't making sales yet until you have 100 high quality listings. Once you have 100 high quality listings, you can then go back and reevaluate and see really what's going on and make adjustments and figure out what other ways you can improve. Because if you're at 100 high quality listings and you're still struggling to get your first sale, it may be you need to focus more on trend research or doing things that will improve traffic and improve conversion in your store. Okay, let's keep moving forward here. So, um, and with that too is the more listings you have, the more real estate you take up on Etsy, the more chances you have it being found. So it really does just come down to how many chances you have it being found, but it doesn't mean you can create 5,000 high quality listings and expect, or just of low quality listings and expect to do well. They have to be high quality. So let's break down what it means to create a large quantity of high quality listings. So it first starts with doing your trend research. This is the most important thing you can do, is your trend research. So you have to be doing your trend research either directly on Etsy or in other big box stores, to see what is current, to see what people are buying. Because if you're not selling what someone wants, you'll have a very hard time at making sales. So it first starts with doing your trend research and making sure you're selling things that a customer is currently buying. And this comes down to color palettes. What color palettes are popular? What type of products are popular? So hoodies, oversized hoodies, back prints, chest graphics, etc. You have to know what is currently selling specifically on Etsy and throughout different retails. All right, one second. My wife's helping me out here. Okay, give me just 1 minute. I'm going to fix this focus issue and then I'm going to continue on. So hang tight with me. All right. So I hopefully that fixed my focus issue. Thank you guys for hanging tight. I apologize for the issues. Okay. All right, we will keep moving forward. Thanks, Lauren, for your help. Okay, all right. So, trend research, that is critical. You have to do your trend research in order to really do well on Etsy. So, next up with doing a high quality listing is making sure not only you're doing, okay, cool. So, no focus issue on our end. Sweet. Thanks, guys. I apologize for that. So, all right, let me gather my thoughts here. Okay, so with your trend research, making sure you're creating something that's unique and different. So I talk a lot about doing your trend research on Etsy, and it's not just going and taking what's already working and mirroring it completely and copying it. That will not get you anywhere. Any customer is going to go with the shop that is already having lots of sales for a specific item, has a lot of social proof, has a lot of reviews on it. So you have to make it different and unique and make it stand out so that someone would want to buy it. So figure out how to take something that's already trending and add upon it and creating your own spin on it in order to really stand out. And that's the best way to start having success on Etsy. Okay, so you've created a trending design. Now you need to use proven SEO in your titles and in your tags. And I've been doing a lot of research on SEO recently, trying to make sure I'm continually learning and improving myself. I've noticed since I started YouTube, I've been putting a lot of focus on YouTube, trying to get it going, and trying to really reach as many people I can to help as many people as I can. And I've stopped putting my focus on learning. So that is a tip for you is to make sure you're a lifelong learner in whatever it is that you're working on, so that you can continually improve and become better. So what I'm trying to get at is I've done a lot of research on SEO recently, and some new things I've learned that I think is important that I want to highlight, just because it's on my mind, is when you're doing your SEO, your SEO research and figuring out what keywords to use, is making sure that you're using, obviously, high search volume is good with low competition, but you can't always have um, all of your keywords can't be high search volume and low competition. So you will have to use some saturated keywords, but use a combination of both. So try to find some long tail keywords that have low competition but high search volume, and then also you can use some more common keywords that are obviously going to be more saturated. And with this, making sure you're using all of your characters for your title, because I've read mixed things, and I really do believe that Etsy, their search engine, is going to really see all keywords in your title. They're not just going to focus on the first few ones. So they will know that you need to connect your shopper with what it is that you're selling. And the only way you can let Etsy know what it is that you're selling is by using keywords that will really describe what it is that you're selling. So making sure you're using all of your keywords in your title, and then also making sure you're using all 13 tags. And these tags don't have to be the exact same tags that are in your title. You can use some of the same, but really the more keywords you use that are specific to what it is that you're selling, the more chances that you'll be found for those specific keywords, and you'll be able to connect with your buyer. And also with SEO, I had a question yesterday, Alex, I think you're in here, but it was a question on, does it take 30 days or more for your listing to actually show up in search results? That is a false thing, and you can show up in search results within a matter of a few minutes, with a matter of a few hours, as long as you are using the correct keywords that will let Etsy know what it is that you're selling, and they'll know who to put it in front of. And remember, the more money you make, the more money Etsy makes. So make sure you're using proven SEO. That this is the only way you can really be found in search results. Okay, so I talked a lot about that. That was a long-winded answer, but you have to be using proven SEO in order to stand out. Next important thing, an ingredient to making your first $1,000 on Etsy and standing out in search results, is using high quality mockups. You have to use mockups that stand out and showcase your design and look really professional. I always talk about buying your own mockups off of Etsy instead of using your print provider, just because they look more realistic. They have really nice lifestyle ones that really look trendy and can help scale your shop. It really wasn't until we started buying our own mockups off of Etsy is when we started to see consistent sales in our shop, and is when we started to make serious money on Etsy. So use high quality mockups, invest in mockups. You can spend anywhere between $2 to $8 for a mockup and use it as many times as you would like. So don't be afraid to invest in your business and invest in yourself. All right. So mockups, we'll continue forward here. I just have a few other things I want to talk about, and then I will be answering questions that all of you have. So make sure you're asking your questions, and I'll get to those. If you're finding value in this stream, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, make sure you subscribe and share it with a friend. I'm going to take a quick water break, and we'll continue on. Okay. So another thing I want to talk about is after you've done your trend research and you have your mockups and you started to do your designing, make sure you're also investing in design programs like Creative Fabrica or Vexels or whatever tool that you find useful for yourself. Because not every tool that I love you're going to love. But if you invest in a tool that will allow you to efficiently scale your designs and make them more professional, it's a no-brainer. And in the end, you'll just make more money. So don't be afraid to invest in yourself and in a tool that will help you create higher quality designs, because you have to create something that's high quality and professional and unique in order to make sales. And then also with your trend research, you can do your trend research directly on Etsy by doing it manually yourself and seeing what's performing and ranking on the first pages, what are bestsellers, what listings have a lot of reviews, or you can use extensions like the Everbee Chrome extension, which I've been talking a lot about on my channel. And the reason I've been talking about it is because I'm currently using it in my own shop and finding success with it when it comes to doing my product research. You can also do your trend research on big box stores like Target, Walmart, any other clothing stores that you follow. So look at what's working, see what big retailers are doing, and then implement that into your own store, making your own unique versions of it. And this is the best way to really succeed. Okay, let's move forward now. So we've built out our store. So let's rewind. We started to take action. We started our shop. We built out our store. We included all the necessary information a customer would need to know. We are now doing our trend research, and we're working on creating our first 100 designs. And on each 100 design, we're getting 1% better. Now, so we have a decent amount of inventory in our store for our customers to find us and to buy from us. We've created our designs by using high quality mockup, or by using high quality or programs that allow us to create high quality designs. And we talked about SEO, which is important to be found, and then the importance of mockups. And now I want to talk about the description. The description isn't a game changer for SEO, but it is helpful for a customer to be able to know all of the information they need. So in your description, you can include things like product details, what your product's made out of. You can have a section on how to place an order, how to order multiple items. You can include your shipping and processing times, and then also make sure your shipping and processing times are accurate. You want to make sure that it is reflecting what your actual shipping and processing times, and you can update this from time to time depending on what your current status is of your print provider. So obviously your customer with Amazon now, Amazon Prime, people are wanting things the same day. Obviously you can't do that with print on demand, but you can get it to them within almost a week or less. So make sure your shipping and processing times reflect what your actual ones are. Okay. Another thing for building a high quality listing is making sure you're using all of your mockup, all of your listing photos. So you don't have to fill every slot, but make sure you're utilizing it when it comes to having mockup photos for the different colors you offer, as well as creating listing photos for a size chart. That is a must to have. A color chart if you want one. Also, you can have a listing photo for your shipping and processing times, because I know for me personally, and I know a lot of you can relate, people will be more likely to read what you have in your listing photos. They really shop visually instead of by reading. So they're more likely to see what's in your listing photos than to actually go through your description and read your description. So in these, make listing photos that have information that a customer would want to know. And those are the main ones that I would be sure to include. All right. I have a few more things and then we'll answer your questions. So next up, for really making the implementing strategies that will allow you to make your first $1,000 is being willing to experiment with different products and niches. So don't limit yourself. Make sure you're willing to really try out on anything. I've talked a lot about this on my channel, but in the beginning stages, don't be afraid to experiment with mugs, with stickers, with wall art, with t-shirts, with sweatshirts, with hoodies, with tank tops, whatever it is. Your options are endless when it comes to print on demand. You can really print on anything and figure out what works for you. And when you find something that works for you, double down on it and run with it. And this doesn't mean you have to start another store that's specifically just for clothing. You can just now start focusing on creating more listings with sweatshirts and t-shirts or whatever it is that is working for you. But don't limit yourself. I can't stress that enough when you're doing print on demand. Unless you have a niche that is extremely specific and you know a lot about, then you could consider just doing niche specific store. But having a general store allows you to design in so many different categories for so many different holidays, etc. So don't limit yourself and be willing to experiment. And then when you experiment, double down on what's working because success leaves clues. So if you have a design that does really well on a sweatshirt, throw it on a hoodie, throw it on a mug if it works. Just figure out how to scale it and to make more money. Because I can guarantee you, if it's selling on a t-shirt, it will most likely sell on a crew neck sweatshirt or a hoodie. All right. So we talked about double downing. Next thing, this is a huge thing to really scale your shop and to start making serious money. And that is creating group themed shirts and listings. So this can be group themed shirts or couple themed shirts, because when a customer now comes to your store, they're not only going to order one product or one item, they're going to order two or more. And it's the fastest way to increase your revenue, increase your sales, and to make more profit in your shop. So if you're not doing group theme shirts and couple theme shirts, highly recommend it. And it's the fastest way to make serious money and to really get to your first $1,000 on Etsy. Um, with that too is you can have crazy orders. So you could have a bachelorette party who wants to order 15 plus shirts, or you could do a big family vacation themed shirt and have 20 or more 20 more items ordered. So it really is such a smart and efficient way to make more money on Etsy, and I can't stress it enough. Okay, next thing I want to talk about to hitting your first $1,000 is the power of referrals. So after you've opened your shop, don't be afraid to share your shop with friends and family. I know you may be nervous. They might judge you for your creativity or your designs, not liking them. But don't be afraid to share your shop with your friends and family, and tell your friends and family to share your shop with their friends and family. And that ripple effect will happen, and more people will learn about your shop. And your friends and family are the best people to are really your best first customers. And they're going to order from you if they want to support you. And they're going to be nice through the process. They'll allow you to learn. They'll allow you to learn in a safe space how to go through the process of sending out your first order, doing the customer service, and then getting your first reviews. So after you've gotten your first few orders, making sure that your friends and family, or if they're organic, making sure they leave reviews, because that is really the best way to build the foundation for your shop and to create social proof and to gain trust. If you think about it, when you go to Amazon or to any any online shop, would you order something if it had 0 reviews? So you have to get your reviews in order to start really gaining momentum in your store. Another topic with power of referrals is making sure you share on any social media platform that you're on. So if you're on TikTok or on Instagram, or if you are on Pinterest, don't be afraid to share it there. And if you're not on Pinterest or you're not on any social media, that's a great place to start sharing it, because if someone repins your pin, it's just a snowball effect and is a great way to send traffic outside of Etsy to your shop. Okay. And I've heard some crazy stories where a small shop, a new shop, created a really trendy design that either an Instagram influencer or a TikTok influencer ordered, and then they shared it on their account, and it completely blew up their shop. So really utilize what is out there, platforms, and really tap into them. And don't be afraid to share and to promote your business. And specifically starting with your friends and family. Okay, we talked about reviews and how important those are. And with the reviews too, if I recommend asking them to leave a photo with the review because there's a huge difference between just a nice review and then a nice review with a photo of what the end product actually looks like. And if you can get that, it is such a valuable thing for your shop. Okay. We're going to share a few more things and we'll answer questions. If you're finding value, go ahead and hit the thumbs up and we'll jump back to it here in a second. Okay. So, last few things I want to talk about for hitting your first $1,000 is after you've done all of the basics and the most essential things, which I talked about, and you start getting sales. The next most important thing you can do is provide excellent customer service. So, making sure you respond to customers' inquiries and feedback promptly and professionally, and strive to provide a positive shopping experience to keep your customers coming back. So, you've done the hardest part once you've gotten your first customer. Now you just have to make sure you make it a positive shopping experience. And if you do, they will most likely come back and shop in your store again if you make it memorable. And not only come back and shop in your store, they will also share your shop with their friends and family. And they could possibly even share on their social media accounts. So doing really good, excellent customer service is such an important factor on Etsy and such a valuable way to start scaling your shop. Um, and also, good customer service will lead to positive reviews. So it's so important to respond quickly and to be kind and nice. And remember that you'll have times where a customer will say you're in the wrong or you did something wrong, but just know that your customer's always right, as hard as that is and as humbling as that is. Obviously, that's within reason, but just make it positive for your customer when they shop in your store, and they'll share it with others, and they'll most likely come back and order from you again, and possibly multiple times. I can't tell you how many times we've had repeat customers, and we continue to have repeat customers because we made it a positive shopping experience in our own store. Okay, the last thing I want to talk about before we start answering questions is making sure you're doing other things like running a sale in your store. I talk a lot about this on my shop. And if you watch that video on the top 5 sellers, what they're doing, every single one of them are running a sale in their store. There's several reasons for doing this. One of the main reasons is if a customer if they filter their search results by on sale, your listings will show up in search results. But if you're not running a sale, you will not show up in search results. And a lot of people like to search and shop for things that are on sale. So make sure you're running a sale. It can be a 10, 15, 20% off sale, whatever you want to do, figure out what works for you. And it's a great incentive for customers. And if you're running a sale, a store-wide sale, include it in your banner, your announcement, listing photos, etc. Other things to do to increase sales is making sure you set up your abandoned cart, your favorited items discount to possibly convert customers that are on the fence. So if someone has added something to your cart or to their cart from your shop and then they left it and they abandoned it, Etsy will send them a discount code to come back and buy it. And then same thing with if they favorite an item, they will send them a discount code so that they come back and buy it. And it's just a great way to possibly encourage them to come back. Even though you may make a little less money, you will get a sale, which will promote that listing, and Etsy will recognize it. It will add interaction with that listing. So Etsy will notice that and they'll hopefully rank it better. And then also it could lead to another positive review that will continue to build that foundation for your shop. And then another thing to set up in your store is setting up your thank you offers. So anytime a customer purchases from your store, you can send out a thank you offer with a discount code to get them to come back and become a repeat customer. Okay, so we shared a lot on things to hit your first $1,000, and these are fundamental things that you should focus on, basic things that you should focus on, and it really is not that complicated. Stick to the basics. Follow systems that I teach on my channel, what other content creators teach. Study other shops, see what they're doing that are successful. that are in your own niche and implement that into your own store, and you will see success. If you're following proven systems and strategies and you don't quit too soon, you will see success. I can promise you that. Um, Okay, so last thing I want to talk about is making sure you're not quitting too soon. You really could be one design and listing away from your shop taking off. So just don't quit too soon. Make sure you stick with it. And as I've talked about a lot on my channel in the previous live stream, is making sure you have your why so that you have a reason and motivation for continuing when things get hard. And remember, making money on Etsy takes time, effort, and patience, but with the right strategies in place, you can achieve success. So I wish you guys the best with your shops, and I am here to help you and to answer questions the best that I can, and to hopefully share information that will help you get from A to Z and to start making daily sales and to turn this really from your side hobby into your full-time income. So I'm going to answer some questions now. Um, if you guys are enjoying the stream, make sure you share it with a friend or family member, someone that you know, and so they can jump on as well. And I will start answering some questions, and I'm going to do rapid answers. So I'm going to try to get through as many as I can, and then we will end on that note. So I'm going to go back and see if there's any main questions I want to answer. Okay, so give me just a minute as I sort through these questions. So planning to start Etsy, how many products I need to start with, please? Highly recommend doing 100 listings and improving each time. Can you add multiple things? So if you're referring to specific listings, yes, you can add multiple products to one listing. If you're talking about adding different products and individual listings to your shop, you can add as many as you would like. But you'll see a lot of successful sellers who add all of their different products in one listing with the same design. So they'll do sweatshirts, t-shirts, tank tops, all in one listing, which is a strategy you could follow. But I personally like to create separate listings for each product that I'm selling, because it's just another listing that I could be found with, and it just increases my real estate on Etsy, my digital real estate, and it allows me to make more opportunities for customers to find me. Okay, and I answered that. So do you offer multiple products, t-shirts, sweatshirts on one listing? I only do one individual listing. Which product would you recommend to start with? I personally would recommend starting selling sweatshirts and t-shirts, but don't limit yourself to that. What works in my store may not work in your store, so be willing to experiment with all of the different products that you can do with print on demand. How do you have family members buy at cost so you can get early reviews? I know to send a coupon, but I don't know how to figure the amount. I also have not listed a single thing. So, Ashley, great question. I would be careful with this. For a I wouldn't reduce your price for a family member. You could send them a coupon code, but you have to be careful when you are encouraging and incentivizing a family member to buy from you. It could raise a flag in your shop. So I would just, if they want to support your store at the cost that you're selling, just have them support. If they don't, that is no problem. But you could do a coupon code and make sure you get your first listing up. Don't wait any longer. Today's the day to start. That's my invitation to you, Ashley, is to create your first listing today. Carolina from Poland, welcome to the stream. Thanks so much for tuning in. Okay, so can Nigerians also sell on Etsy? It depends on if Etsy payments is allowed in your country or not. If it's not allowed in your country, it'll be difficult to sell on Etsy. And I'm a US seller, so I'm not super familiar with this. But if Etsy payments are allowed, you can just search, "Are Etsy payments allowed in my country?" And you'll be able to know if you are allowed to sell from Nigeria. Okay. So I have 10 listings in my shop. Since Monday, my shop is suspended. I really don't know why. This is really annoying. This happens to new sellers, specifically print on demand sellers. As long as you didn't violate anything and you send them an email through their help center, you will get your shop back. It may just take time, so be patient. And during the process, just make sure you're continuing to create designs and do your trend research so that when you get your shop back, you'll be ready to go. But unfortunately, this is a common occurrence for new print on demand sellers. I have videos on this you can go and watch. Many sellers say the first 60 to 90 days are the hardest and it takes time. Why exactly is that if you can rank a listing from the get go, if the algo picks it up right away? Please elaborate. So, Alex, great question. I would say this first 60 to 90 days. So, one, your shop has to be indexed, it has to be um, you're a brand new shop with thousands and thousands and thousands of shops that are already selling and have um, a good quality score in their store. So, of course, it's going to take time to get your listings up to start gaining momentum for traffic to your shop, people clicking and interacting with your listings. And when Etsy recognizes that, they'll start promoting your listings more. You have to get your first few reviews. So, I really don't know like an exact answer for why 60, 90 days. I do think that's just like a number that is thrown out there, but I think it's just that's the beginning stages. You have to go through the learning curve, get your shop to start have momentum, get your first few reviews, which will lead to more sales, etc. And then you'll start to and pick it up. And it's just like anything. You can never expect immediate results or immediate success when you're starting something new. So know there's a learning curve. It'll take time, and just stick with it. But your yeah, and two with that, Alex, is Etsy has to be able to really experiment and test your listing before they know who to put it in front of. So if they put it in front of specific people and no one's interacting with it, they may think that, okay, well, this is the wrong audience for it. And so they'll experiment and test with a different audience, depending on what type of keywords you're using and what you're including in your listing. Okay, so Gerardo, there you go. Someone who was suspended and got their shot back, and it was a mistake. Very common occurrence. Okay. Large quantity equals, are you talking 500, 1,000, 2,000? So I think 500 is a great number for large quantity. But with this too, I've seen a lot of shops that have had between 50 to 100 listings that were very high quality and they were having a lot of success with it. So it really doesn't matter how many listings you have as long as they are high quality. So, and that's why I said at the beginning, get your first 100 up that are high quality, improve each time, and then you can reevaluate and see where you need to go. But obviously, if you have 2,000 high quality listings, you're gonna make significantly. Oh, my camera's doing it again. You're gonna make significantly more money than if you just had 50 high quality listings, just because you have that many more opportunities to reach a customer. When creating a listing on Canva, how do you know it's high quality? What should we look for? Do you mean looks high quality or an actual qualifier? I've heard 300 DPI, but I don't know where to make sure of that. Yes, so you want to make sure your design is at least 300 DPI, and you can see the DPI when you upload it to your print provider. Other things to ensure this is making sure your canvas size in Canva or whatever design program you're using is at least 5,000 by 5,000. This is a personal thing that I do. You can do it however you would like. But if I've noticed if you make your canvas 5,000 by 5,000 and you fill the whole canvas, it will make sure that your DPI is at least 300 or higher, which will ensure good print quality for the end product. How important are good letters or fonts? So they're very important. This is another thing when it comes to trend research. If you are using a trendy font that a lot of people are buying and you'll notice is selling well, then 100% incorporate that into your store. An example is in the past year, retro fonts have been extremely popular and they're still popular today. So incorporate that into your store and you'll see sales. So, and incorporate that in your niche that you're selling. So if you're doing, let's say, selling shirts for the medical profession or for teachers or for the like bachelorette parties, incorporate retro fonts in that or whatever font that you see is currently popular. Can you explain setting your shipping? Do you just put what the Printify selected company has listed as production time plus 1 to 5 for USPS? So something with this, Ashley, is to always under promise and over deliver. So for me personally, I build out my own shipping profiles. So our shipping time, depending on who you're using, but for Swift BOD and Monster Digital, which is what I'm using right now on Printify, I will put my processing times between 2 to 7 business days. That will just account for me to have a buffer in case anything goes wrong in production. And then for shipping, I do 3 to 5 business days. And I can adjust this accordingly. Let's say Swift POD and Monster Digital is really fast at getting their items out, your products out. Then you can decrease that. But I would rather under promise and over deliver than over promise and under deliver. So I hope that answers your question. I actually thought that the longer your listing is live, the better chance you have to rank. Is that true? I don't know if that's necessarily true, Alex, because if you create a listing that that you do everything you need to do, and Etsy they'll put it in front of whoever they want to put it in front of, and no one engages with it, no one clicks on it, no one favorites it, no one buys it, then that listing will eventually probably get buried because if it's not making Etsy money, they're not going to rank it higher or better. So the goal is to make something that's very high quality and that people will want to buy and engage with and favorite. And if you do that, it will boost the ranking for it. And it will obviously, if the sales increase on it, it will then get promoted more heavily. So I don't think the lifespan of a listing necessarily increases ranking. It's the performance of the listing. Makes sense to use Facebook ads to generate traffic to an Etsy shop. When first starting out, I would say no. I would focus on organically ranking and focusing on creating high quality listings before you spend any money on ads, unless you have just the money to burn. You could burn a lot of money if you're not careful. So I would focus on the fundamentals before pouring money into ads. And then if you have a listing that starts to do really well for you, you can then consider running Etsy ads on it or Facebook ads or wherever you want to drive traffic from. You can do that for whatever specific listing. But I think it's smart to only run ads on listings that are performing well for you. Okay. Let me answer a few more questions here. Do you prefer social media advertising or Etsy advertising? So honestly, I've never done any social media advertising for my Etsy shop. I've only done any, I said that right, I think. I've never done social media advertising. I've only done Etsy advertising. So I don't have a preference, but for me, I just, Etsy advertising in the beginning was very easy to grasp and to understand. And it was directly in the platform. So that's why I did that. But really, in the beginning stages, we focused 100% on organically ranking and we built our store and scaled our store by doing that. We had a few listings that took off for us and did really well for us, and we doubled down on it. And we continued to see sales and success. So, yeah, I don't have a preference there, but I've only had experience with Etsy advertising. I know in the past, and this is something you could do. This isn't necessarily for Etsy, but when I was drop shipping in the past on Shopify, we did a lot of paid influencer placements. So we'd reach out to different Instagram accounts and we'd pay them whatever their fee was, depending on if we wanted to market our product on there or not. And we'd see a lot of traffic that way. So that is something you could consider if you're designing for a specific niche. Let's say you're creating shirts for cars and you're on an Instagram account that focuses on cars, you could possibly reach out to the account holder of that and do it that way. But yeah, it's up to you what you'd like to do. How do you know what is selling in big retail stores or even big retail stores according to the niches you are specifically selling, such as non-Amazon or non-Walmart, etc.? So things you can do here is you can sort by bestseller and see what's popular, and then also the most accurate, data you can look at is reviews in those big box stores. So on their online retail stores, you can see what they have a lot of reviews of because that's an indicator of sales. Okay, thank you so much for the super chat, Khalid. I greatly appreciate your support. Is there a supplier who does POD on denim? So I personally am not aware of a supplier that does that. If someone knows, you can let us know in the chat. I've never sold anything that was denim, but check Printful and Printify and see if they carry it. If you ask this question after the stream's over, I can hopefully answer it for you if I do more research. But if anyone knows, let us know. And thank you again so much for the super chat. Do you suggest ordering a sample before listing something? I have never bought a physical product from Etsy. I never did when I first started out. It's up to you if you'd like to. You can order a sample order just to see the process go through. But I would recommend having a family member or friend outside of your home on a different IP address order from you. And then you can go through the whole process that way. And then you can also see the end product and you'll get a review out of it. You'll get a sale out of it. You'll get engagement on your listing. So it's a win-win all around rather than just ordering your own sample order. So that's my personal preference. If you want to order something, you can, but I don't think it's necessary. Sir, how do you get your first sale? You do everything that I talked about in the stream today. If you missed the beginning, I recommend going back and watching the beginning. Also, going and watching all of my videos on my channel. I share a lot of content and tutorials on how to get your first sale and how to get your shop up and running and start making consistent daily sales. Um, and I do share a lot of information that's 100% free on my channel. So go and watch all my videos and I'll walk you through exactly how to do that. Okay, let me answer a few more questions. So I have a Etsy shop in Germany, but my products have text in English. Should I do my keywords in English or in German? Thank you. So if your primary I think it depends on your target audience, and I'm not sure about this since I primarily sell in the USA. You can ask this question after this, and I can look more into it. But if you're primarily selling to the US market, then do your keywords in English. But if your market is in Germany, do it in German. But I would bet, depending on your currency and things, that Etsy will. Actually, I don't know. I'm not going to say anything because I don't know. Ask this question, and I will answer it later. But I would write your keywords in whatever market that you're selling to. So, what is the best platform to advertise on? Depends on who you want to reach, but I would start with Etsy ads unless you're doing a niche specific thing. Then you can reach out to specific influencers for your niche. Okay. All right, I'm going to go quickly through these last few questions. So for group listings, I have a few videos on how to create group listings. It is more work when it comes to creating a listing, but it is well worth it in the end. So go and watch those videos, and I plan to make more group listing videos in the future. But there is more of a process where you have to sync the specific products because you can't add them all to one listing. And so it is more tedious, but what you do is don't sync them until after it has sold. Otherwise, you're just going to be doing a lot of work that is unnecessary. So if it sells, then you can sync it in your print in your Etsy shop and on your print provider. And this is the best and easiest and most efficient way to do it. I achieved for the star seller badge. Would you take advantage of that and do Etsy ad, or it doesn't need it? It won't. I don't think it's necessary to start running ads just because you're a star seller. I don't know how much of a difference it makes in your shop, but I would guess because Etsy is heavily promoting it right now that they do look into it and they do recognize it, and it's part of your overall shop quality score. But I don't think you need to start running ads because of it. Do you recommend using Creative Fabrica and changing the design a little? I 100% recommend using Creative Fabrica. It's a great design tool to use, and it's a fast way to create high professional designs. But with this, I would incorporate several different designs, or take a design from Creative Fabrica and add text to it and make it 100% your own instead of just using the Creative Fabrica designs. Because if you do that, there's going to be a lot of other sellers that are doing this, and it will be difficult to stand out. I had my first sale and got my first review. Both were great. Congratulations, PB. That's super exciting. And thank you so much for sharing. Carolina, I just wondered how to survive the 90 days with account reserve. I went from being excited and praying for sales to being terrified because I barely can afford to order them. I am so sorry about that, Carolina. That's super unfortunate. And yeah, I it's crazy that this happens to some sellers and doesn't happen to others, but I understand it's a way that Etsy protects the buyer. Unfortunately, you just have to I know you can so making sure that your tracking is updated to your listings, that's one way. Once it's shipped, you can update your tracking, and sometimes this will allow you to gain access to your funds, but sooner. But other than that, you really just have to hang on and figure out how to fund it. Um, but I'm sorry that you're going through that, and maybe reach out to Etsy support and see if they can lift the 90-day reserve or if there's something they can do to help you out. But I'm sorry that you're going through that right now. But don't quit. Don't let this be a indicator to, or don't let this keep you from keep going, and don't quit too soon, because this is just a little hiccup in the path of your journey and of your success. Okay, it's been a month, built a store on Etsy, and I have 21 listings, but till now I have not received a single sale. I have good mockups and good quality listing. So keep with it, keep adding listings, keep doing the things I teach on my channel, keep implementing. We didn't receive our first organic sales until 3 months after starting on Etsy, and that was with creating a lot of listings. So it really is a numbers game, and it takes time. Be patient and don't expect immediate results and immediate success. Otherwise, you'll be very disappointed. I cannot figure out what the size of a picture needs to be for a digital download to be able to print 24 by 36. The image size is 7200 by 10800, and the pixels image DPI 300 pixels. Andrew, ask this question at the end of the stream, and I will hopefully answer it. I can look into it for you and see how we could fix this for you. Yep. DPIs, dots per inch. Challenge accepted. Thank you for the clear and concise content. Your videos are great. Hi, Brandon. Should I be worried about my designs if copycats copy my designs? So there's unfortunately a lot of copying that happens on Etsy. There's not much you can do other than watermark your listings and your mock-up photos to hopefully prevent it. Other things you can do is if you see someone that copies your listing, you can either just directly report it to Etsy, or you can save a snippet with information that will reach out to the customer and say, notice you copied my design. I'm going to ask you to remove it. Otherwise, I will be reporting this to Etsy, and I'll just give them a chance to remove it. And most of the time, in our experience, they have removed it before we had to report it. So that's another thing you can do. But just know that copying will happen, and it's an unfortunate thing, but just make sure you yourself don't copy other sellers and respect other sellers. Okay, Junie, thank you so much for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. Can I automate personal products using Printify? So when you do personalized products or customizable products, there's really no way to automate it. Unfortunately, it is more tedious and more time consuming, but I would make a personalized product or a customized product as straightforward and simple as possible, so that it's just a matter of a few clicks when you have to swap out the design or add whatever it is to the design that your personal or what your personal request is. But there's no way to automate it, unfortunately. All right, my friends. So I'm gonna let me see if there's any other major ones I want to answer here. Okay, so is there a way to go back and change holiday in bulk? I have a lot of listings that still say Christmas. So if you can use the bulk editing features on Etsy, they have a handful of things you can do, but unfortunately, you are limited to what you can do. Another tool I recommend is Vela. It's Get Vela. I think it's getvela.com. I can double check on this later, but I think it's Get Vela. If you search Get Vela, it will show up. It's a bulk editing tool. It used to be free, but now you can pay either $5 or $10 depending on what you want to do, and you can do a lot of bulk editing, which will save you a lot of time. Should I get sample for each and every time that I design to see how they turn out in terms of quality? No, you should not. You'll spend way too much money if you do that. And there's no need to do it. How many different colors do you recommend? I wouldn't do more than 5. I would say that is the max, 5 to 6. If you have too many options, it will create buyer's fatigue or decision fatigue. So less is more. Don't make it too difficult for your customer to make a decision, because that would create, if you have a lot of color options and a lot of different options to choose from, it will just allow your customer to it'll create the opportunity for your customer to possibly bounce off your listing and not buy because there's too many decisions to make. I'm selling poster on Etsy and planning to sell a desk mat. Should build a new store or just add it to my current store? 100% do a general store. The only reason I would do a separate store is if you're doing digital products and print on demand. Then you could separate them just so that it'd be more cohesive. Um, and yeah, that way they'll be separated. But if you're going to do so, if they're physical products, keep them in the same store. If they're digital products, you can do a separate store. Yes. So, Heather, great info. Thanks. It looks like Etsy has removed the bestseller filter option. Do other people see this too? Yes, it is no longer an option. Unfortunately, you can now sort by star sellers, which I don't think is that useful. But hopefully, they're just testing right now and they'll bring it back. All right, my friends. Miley on Disney, thank you so much for the super chat. Greatly appreciate it. If I didn't get to your question, I will answer your question on the comment section down below. But thank you everyone for tuning in. If you found value in the stream, make sure you give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. I'm going live every other week, so the first and third Friday of every month. And I plan on continuing to do that until if unless I need to make changes. But I wish you guys great success. Stick with it. Don't give up too soon. You could be one design away. I'm grateful for everyone's support, and I'm sorry if I didn't get to your question. But thanks for tuning in. And really, it is possible to make your first $1,000 on Etsy if you do the things I share here on my channel, and if you're willing to always be learning, improving, and implementing. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.